It's a great day to talk hockey on HabsCast.
Hello, folks. What a great day indeed. Whenever Blain Potvin is on a podcast with me, it's a exceptionally great day to talk hockey. Blaine, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Today's a day off during the under 17, so I'm able to
Yeah.
catch up a little bit on some writing. And yeah, any day that ends in Y is a good day to talk hockey.
Oh, you've been in Truro, right?
I
They seem
have,
to get a
which is
lot of tournaments there and stuff. It's a kind of a popular spot for international tournaments in the Maritimes.
it is. It's central in Nova Scotia. It's got a really, really good facility. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not far from Halifax, so they can have a lot of players staying out in the city, and it's a short drive. So yeah, it's a great spot to have a tournament like that.
Cool. I played in a tournament in Truro actually when I lived in Riverview, New Brunswick for a couple of years in the 90s. And yeah, nice town. I like Truro. Very very nice town. But you've been at the U17s. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. I just wanted to did you see the game last night?
I did. I did catch the game.
Okay. What were your thoughts on Philadelphia more than doubling the shot total and pulling it off, pulling it out. Wasn't the safe to say it wasn't the Canadians' best game of the year, right?
No, I would say it might be one of their worst games of the season, but they still pulled off a point.
Yeah,
So to play that poorly for that long, like they had good stretches in there for a few minutes here and there, but to be able to pull a point off despite playing poorly says a lot about that team.
yeah. I was saying that last night. I agree. I think it's good teams find a way to get points when they shouldn't at times, and you know, like I think a Montreal Canadiens club 5 years ago, for instance, if they got outshot 42-16 or whatever it was, would not be get coming away with a point, right?
No, no, they'd be leaving with a touchdown against.
Yeah, yeah. 10-0 Columbus or something like that. Remember that one?
Sadly,
The
I do.
but um what did you think of Monty's kind of bounce back there? I think he had 30 straight saves. Looked like he was starting to maybe regain some confidence last night.
Yeah, it did. He wasn't playing as deep in his net as he had been earlier in the season. So
Yeah,
that for him, that's a sign of confidence. And he always does better when he's facing more shots. So a game like that is probably ideal for him to regain his confidence. When you're playing games where you're only getting 17 to 20 shots for him, for whatever reason, that doesn't work for him.
the camera zoomed in on him a few times there later in the game, and he had a different expression on his face than we've seen a lot of the year. I found, he kind of had the exasperated look, in the past, and he looked really focused last night
Mhm.
and determined. And I'm hoping, even though he let in 4 goals or whatever, five, if you count the shootout, um, that this might be what turns things around for him confidence wise.
I think so. I mean, the last two games he's played, the game against Ottawa, he gave up a couple of really just fluky goals. So
Yeah,
it's easy to just write those off. And in this game, it's not like he gave up some massive banana. Um,
right.
so I think these two games will really go a long way in refocusing him and rebuilding his confidence.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think we're seeing improvements there, and Canadians need 2 goalies if they're going to contend, right?
Yes.
Especially when the other guy is a rookie in the league. You don't want to. Marty does, and he's on record as saying he doesn't. He wants Monty to be the starter this year, and
Mhm.
he's going to give him every opportunity. That all being said, you expect Ovish and Nets on Thursday.
I do. After missing a couple of games or giving Monty back-to-backs, it's probably best to give him a little bit of a break until the game on Saturday. So it
Yeah,
would make sense.
yeah, for sure. It's I think maybe the thought process too was give Dobish the more difficult start, right? With New Jersey, although here's hoping that they play better against New Jersey than they did against Philly, or
They're going to get slaughtered.
shots could
Um,
be 76-16.
I think it's a good test for Dobesh too. To me, it's almost as if they're gauging where these two players are. So playing against New Jersey, if Dobesh were to get the start, that'd be a really good test to see how he does against some of the better teams in the league. So just like
Yeah,
last season when he stepped in, he played amazing against some of the top teams. To see him do it again this season, that would be a good test for him against New Jersey.
yeah, for sure. And Ivan Demidov continues to get better and better, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what a rookie race we have this year with him and Schaefer. Like I got thinking about it. There haven't been too many times like to try to think back to when there were two prospects maybe this good in the Calder race.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, don't nothing to take nothing away from Celebrini and Hudson last year. That was very very good too. And Matthews Line in their rookie year, and just in recent history. But uh, I mean, Schaefer could be a 70-point scorer as a rookie defenseman, and Demidov could be a point per game. It's it might be one of the best 1-2 punches in a Calder rookie class in a long time.
Yeah, I think NHL fans are being spoiled a little bit with some of these young guys coming in now, uh, looking incredible from day one. And for Demidov to be in the mix for a Calder this early, even if he doesn't win it, like he finishes in the nominations or whatever, that bodes really well for the Canadians coming off of it. Hudson winning the Calder. Then you have Demidov, who's in the race for one, whether he wins it or not. Although winning it would be pretty neat. I don't think it's been. What has it been? Have the Canadians won back-to-back Calders with their players before? I can't remember.
You know what? I look back as far as 53, 54. Uh, it's only happened twice since 53, 54, and it was the Rangers, Camille Henry, who beat out Jean Beliveau, and then the next year played for the Quebec Aces. Well, he got sent back down. Uh, Jean kind of had a better career after that, it's safe to
Yeah,
say. But
slightly better.
Gump Worsley, the Rangers 53, 54, and then Sanderson and Orr back to back 67, 68. It's the only time it's happened in the last 60, 70, 72 years. So I didn't go
Yeah,
back further than that, but yeah, that's it's great, and I think that Demidov is definitely. It's looking like those two are going to be the favorites, but Buem's been good. There's been several rookies that have really climbed to the forefront here, and it's a nice rookie rookie Calder class, and
yeah.
I hope Demidov just keeps building. It looks like he's just, I mean, we might have back-to-back 60 assist players on that.
Yeah, it looks
The
like.
all-time record for a rookie forward for the Canadians is 48 points. I think Demidov might be breaking that, and 71 is the
Yeah.
point record for a forward. Well, for a player, a rookie on the Habs. I could see Demidov besting
He's
that.
on pace for that. He is on
Yeah,
pace for about that.
yeah.
And if you ask my Habs Unfiltered co-host Craig Wilson, he'd add Dobesh to that list of Calder.
Well, yeah, no,
Hopefuls.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, uh, a week ago I would have had Kapanen in the top five too, but kind of cooled off a little bit the last two games. But you're going to have the fits and starts with rookies sometimes, especially playing center as a rookie in the NHL. But he's getting better and better in the faceoff circle. So that's encouraging. Like he's up to 53% or something, or 54 on draws. That's pretty good for a rookie center, right?
It is.
Yeah, but yeah, big game against New Jersey. That should be a fun one to keep an eye on. I'm let's get to the U17s here now. Well, how many games have you gotten to scout so far?
All of them.
All of them? Okay. Now, is this a dual recruiting trip where you you come across a couple of prospects? Do you think, well, he may not have NHL potential, but he could make a hell of a naval cadet? Have you been he tied that defenseman up in knots. Let's see if we can't get him into the cadets. Are you serving a dual purpose in your recruiting trip there, or what?
I'm serving a dual purpose, but I'm not recruiting for the military. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
think any of them would want to do that just yet.
Yeah,
They've got a long
yeah,
way to
that's
go
right.
before
They all
they
have,
do the
especially if you're at the U17s,
yeah,
you know, you're a decent bet to get drafted, right? Um,
exactly.
Now, I looked at the standings here. I guess the quarterfinals are coming up tomorrow, are they?
They are.
Okay, that is the scoring leaders. Okay, what stood out for me here was just how much parity there is here. Normally, there's a weak sister, but every team has a point after two games, at least 1 point.
Yeah.
No team has two regulation wins. So, um, good tournament, I take it so far. And who would you say? Would you say looks like the favorite at this point? It must be tough. Obviously,
Yeah, it is
there's a
tough.
few teams in the mix there.
Well, so the tournament itself, the teams there's some pretty good parity there, but it's when you're watching international hockey, the teams all keep the same type of flavor. Like the Finns, you know what kind of style they're going to play. The Swedes, you know what they're going to do. Canada, US, we all know that. Uh, the the one team that kind of has gone against what you'd expect from them is the Chechens.
Checks.
So they're they're extremely aggressive, not just physically, but in puck pursuit. They play a very tight defensive system, and they have a couple of guys who can match up skill wise, but on the whole, they're more of a team base than the others, which in a short tournament like this really looks good for them.
Okay. They have had some. I found a little bit of a change in their in the past few years where they usually have, certainly at the U18 and U20 level, bigger teams, right? And is that the case also with this team? They got some size, or
They've got some players with size. They got some very tall players,
right?
guys who are like 6'3", 6'4", but they're thin. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
they're 15, 16 years old, so
sure.
it's
Got to fill out
but
yet.
size wise in comparison, they do have some pretty good size.
Okay.
It's more that they're highly aggressive in their pursuit of the puck and physicality. They're not afraid whatsoever. They play
Yeah.
fearless hockey,
Ah,
and that has translated to some really good outcomes. Like their
okay.
first game against Canada, uh, they ended up winning, and it was like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. They played it that way,
Yeah. Okay.
which makes sense. You're playing against the top program in the world. You wanna look good, and beating them is a feather in your cap. So it
Sure.
made perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, that's good that U17 hockey's great, and you're
Yeah.
fortunate to get to be there. Let's just have a quick look here at the top 10 scorers to date. Um, kind of cool that a kid from the Q who has been highly touted for years now, Alexis Joseph, he's in the round robin portion certainly tied for the lead in goals and leading the tournament in points with 7 points in 2 games. Pretty impressive. What have been your what's your take on how he's looked in this tournament so far?
Well, right from the first puck drop, he has looked dominant for his age group. He's 6'5". He's over 200 pounds. For Canada Red, he has played in every single situation: power play, penalty kill, uh, double shifting 5-on-5, every important face-off, and he has performed extremely well. What you notice him on the ice because of his size, but he's like a shark. He's patrolling all these areas like a shark. He's just looking for any drop of blood to pounce on it.
The Navy guy comes up with the shark analogy. That no surprise there. Okay, who else on Canada has impressed you so far?
Liam Pugh from Canada White. He's 15, and he's a
Oh,
big kid too. He's over 6'2", about 170-ish pounds. So he's got a lot of room to grow. He
wow.
plays out west with I think it's Regina. Him and Maddox Schultz together. They're on the Canada White together. They're on a line together. They both play for Regina. But Liam Pugh, he's he's got an excellent shot. He's a great playmaker. He's strong. He'll win his board battles. He's solid defensively, and he's aggressive. Sometimes a little bit too aggressive. I mean, he's 15. He's going to get sucked into things by some older players, taking, just getting distracted. But he's not NHL draft eligible until 2028, and
So
he's
so is he a 2010 then?
he's a late '09.
Okay, wow. So he's going to be turning 16 coming up here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, in February, I think.
why is Landon Dupont not there? Did they disqualify him from playing or
I'm not sure, to be
no?
really honest. Maybe it's they already know he's going to be in the mix, so they're going to give other
Yeah,
players a try.
yeah. Maybe Everett just said no, no, we're not letting him. He plays 25 minutes a game for us. We're not letting him go to this tournament. Yeah, he
That
has
and
nothing.
he'd go to this tournament, then he'd have to go to the World Juniors, and then he's gone half the season.
Yeah, true. I think maybe that's part of it, right? They don't people like players don't play in the U17s and the U20s, right?
Yeah.
And I can't think of any that did both offhand.
No, I can't think about any either. But if there's one player who may, at the very least, get the invitation to the camp, it's Joseph.
Joseph, interesting, eh? You remarked to me that he's looking better, and I mean that's to be expected to a certain degree. Your peer level group,
Mhm.
you can stand out more so than against 19, 20, 21-year-olds sometimes, but that he looks better here than what you'd seen so far in the queue this year.
Yeah, yeah. He's not that he has looked bad playing in the queue. He looks like he's pretty strong in his rookie year playing with St. John. But yeah, he's playing against kids his own age. He's not the
Yeah.
development wise. He's not going up against those 20-year-olds who have a little bit more experience and savvy, so they can shut him down a little simpler. I think this is more indicative of what kind of player he's going to become by the time he's 20. He'll be near the top of his age group, I think, moving on from here.
So does he look like the best draft prospect for the 2027 draft at this point for you at the U17s or?
Yeah, yeah. It's not far and away. Like he's edged his way out a little bit ahead of Carter Meyer with the States, but I think yes.
Okay. Um, is Meyer okay? 6 points in 2 games isn't bad either, right?
No.
Uh, well, tell us a little bit about Meyer then.
Well, Meyer he plays a similar style. Like he's a good size center. He plays a very physical forechecking style. He wins his board battles. He's smart defensively, and he's got the foot speed to cover a lot of territory, which really helps the Americans, especially in the transition game. Uh, Great shot, pretty good playmaker, and he loves getting under people's skin.
Okay. What's his size?
Was he 6'2",
Oh,
6'1", I think. Here,
not
I'll just
bad.
double check real quick. Nope, 6 foot.
Okay, well,
But he's almost 180 pounds. This was
what about
for
Murata? How's he looked?
Murata's looked pretty strong actually. He's paired well with Joseph on some of the shifts on the power play specifically. He's really strong there. Uh, Moves the puck well. Uh, he's got a good shot. He just needs to use it more. Like he's got the 3 goals and 3 assists here, but his shooting percentage is pretty high on this one. But he's able to get pucks through traffic, tape to tape. Again, very aggressive. I think it's more the style that his coach wants him playing in this tournament, so it fits. He's got the speed for it. I think he plays with Flint, so if he can translate what he's doing here to there, uh, I see no problems with him taking Flint pretty far.
Yeah, light a fire under the team there, Flint. Yeah, if he
Yeah.
could. Yeah, there's my pun for the show.
And in talking to him, in passing, it sounds like he's going to be going NCAA here probably next season.
Oh, well, welcome to the clubs, young man.
Yeah.
Uh, as far as European prospects, who for you has stood out from what you've seen so far?
For the Europeans, I mean, the Finns have a really good defenseman in Kakkonen. He's put up some points. He's a very good puck mover. He's solid defensively. Uh, Up at forward, Lucas Santala. He's um, he's been their quarterback on the power play as a forward. He's playing up on the point and he carries it down. Um, he's the one that's directing traffic. He's a leader on his team, so that bodes well. I think he's going to be someone to keep an eye on. For the Chechens, Adam Nemec, I believe he's related to the other
Simon?
Nemeches.
Simon?
Um, yeah, I'm just double check here. I think no, no, I don't think he's related to them at all. Just
Okay.
happens to be the same
Common
name,
common name.
common
Okay.
name. But he's got an excellent shot, and he's more of an offensive player, not so much D. But the one player that's not putting up a ton of points, but to me has been key to his team having any success, and that's and I'm going to brutalize his name pronunciation, even though he's told me a couple times. Lucas Kachler with the Chechens. He's a slightly undersized defenseman, but he plays. He has played in the U20 up in Czechia
Hmm.
and with the men's professional team as well. But he is the guy that's basically orchestrating everything on the ice for them when he's on the ice, and he is very unafraid of the physicality. He actually enjoys it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta like that. When you say undersized, like what are we looking at here?
Well, he just turned 16 and he's about 5'8", 5'9", so he might
Okay.
end up as a 5'10" defenseman, maybe 11.
Yeah, here's hoping that there's still a growth spurt there. Uh,
There's possibility there.
any of the goalies been looks like there's been lots of scoring.
There's been there has been lots of scoring. It's been difficult for the goaltenders, that's for sure. Um, but I'm going to try and remember the name for the Swedish starter
Forsberg,
here.
Forsberg,
Is it
Forsberg
Forsberg?
is the Swedish goalie, I think. No, it's a
Uh,
hyphenated name with
yeah, yeah,
Forsberg.
yeah. It's a hyphenated name. It's what's the first one? Solon Forsberg.
Yeah.
he was very solid in his one game. So
Okay.
sample size being what it is, but
Yeah.
that was the game where they really needed to win that game to get a, a better positioning. So I mean, they still finished third in their division, but now they're going to play the lesser of the two Canadian teams, I guess, as their success. But they really needed that more for confidence with the team.
Right. Right.
And he pulled off that win. If it wasn't for him, they probably would have lost the game against Czechia, but he carried them through.
Okay. Joseph now, if you wanted to compare him to Denway, you saw Denway in his underage year, right?
I did.
How would you think Joseph, given the obviously the whole package with the size and everything, does he look like he might be a even better prospect than Caleb was?
I don't know about better. It's slightly different.
Yeah,
Denway was more
smart.
200-foot defensive two-way kind of guy, whereas Joseph, while he is good defensively, he's more he leans more towards the offensive.
Okay, right. But as far as like Denway is not a great skater, would you say that Joseph at the same age is better skater for his size?
He is,
So
yeah, he's a better skater than Denway was at that age.
so like if you just like in generality, uh, may not have the IQ that Denway have, and that's no strike against him because I consider Denway to be a highly intelligent player, but a
Yeah,
better physical package perhaps than what Denway
yeah,
brings.
yeah. Denway's got that high IQ and that relentless motor. Where Joseph, like the work ethic's there. It just his skating seems so effortless. You don't really think he's working that hard, when in reality he really is. But he doesn't have that obvious uh, motor that Denway has.
Yeah. So a bit like Lindros without the motor, the same motor. Lindros was
Well,
a wrecking ball
yeah,
and smart too. But anyway, I'm not saying he's an ex Lindros, but you always that's kind of the when you talk about 6'5", 6'4" guys that can skate effortlessly, he's the prototype, right?
yeah.
Uh, okay, well, and speaking of, you were talking about an undersized, skilled defenseman on the Czechs. Uh, let's go into the the kids that are draft eligible this year in the queue.
Okay.
You've been predominantly scouting the queue. Who are you scouting for, by the way?
Draft
No.
hockey prospects. I'm their
Okay.
head Q scout.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Great hire, guys. By the way, you done well. You stole them from me. I don't know if I should be asking for residuals or not, but my pay
To say I'm
my
not
pay
going to help
structure
out.
was my pay structure was pretty low. Um, I and hey, you're welcome to contribute an article or two here. Certainly one off U17s if you want to put something up. Um,
Sure.
Look on my Patreon page. We've already got one great article from Blaine this year, but we'll be getting hopefully when when he has a few spare moments, which are few and far between, we can maybe get a couple more articles coaxed out of him. Um, it all starts obviously with Villeneuve. We saw him last year at the
Mhm.
at the U18s and stuff, and you see there are some similarities when you look at him just on the surface to a fellow that's playing defense for the Montreal Canadiens this year.
Yeah, if you're looking for a dynamic offensive defenseman like a Lane Hudson,
That
Villeneuve
guy,
is definitely in that style of play.
right?
Um, he's dynamic offensively. Uh, He has that offensive awareness, the IQ for just creating out of nothing. Uh, he has that evasive flavor to his skating as well. He's hard to hit. So
Okay.
he's grown up just like Hudson has, being the smallest guy on the ice. So he's learned how to play within that.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
so he's very hard to hit. He's a very good skater. He doesn't have the same uh, hip mobility as Hudson.
Shiftiness.
Yeah, yeah. He's still fairly shifty. It's just
He
in a
is.
different, slightly different manner.
Right.
Um, like if he would improve his edge work a little bit, which I think he's fully capable of doing within the next year or two, uh, I can't see him not being a second pairing power play specialist.
Okay. You think he will, like, obviously what will keep him out of the top 10 if he doesn't go in the top 10 will be his defensive game and being that
Yeah.
size. Uh, how would you describe his defensive game at this juncture?
A little bit better than adequate. Like
Okay.
he's not going to hurt you, but he's not the guy that you would expect to make that big defensive stop either.
Yeah.
So he's a steady Eddie kind of thing on the back end. You know exactly what you're going to get. Because of his size, he doesn't have the physicality to box out or to force guys outside often, but he uses stick positioning and his mobility to try and force guys into certain lanes and then get the support he needs to win those battles.
Okay. He's not very physically strong either, Rick was telling me.
Um, no, no, he definitely needs to add some strength. It's not he's only 155, 160 pounds, so he needs to add some to that frame of his. Like he's 5'11", so he's not, you know, he's more of a carrier size than he is a Hudson size. Which
5'11" according to the hockey databases? Or
yeah.
you know that he's 5'11 because they always add an inch to the shorter guys.
Well,
I
he's
It's
shorter
my
than me.
understanding that he's 5'10, but
Well, I can see 5'11". He's a little bit shorter than me, and I'm about 6 foot, but I have shrunk in my old age, so.
yeah, okay. All right. So you're going by the eye test, like, am I looking straight at him or no, I'm down a bit.
Well,
Okay.
I like I like using that when I read the numbers. I'm like 5'11". I don't know. It goes to my shoulders. That's not 5'11".
Yeah, right. Um, Fair enough. Well, if he is 5'11, then okay. My understanding he's 5'10 at most, but it
Yeah,
5'10's not terrible, but if you're 5'11 and 155 pounds, that's kind of at 18 years of age, too.
yeah. You really need
Uh,
to add some.
well, you know, I think because he is an older birthday, too, when you consider his lack of weight, that might be ultimately. I mean, it's kept guys out of the top 10 for 100 years in the draft or 60
Yeah,
or whatever. It may be 61, right? That a team, despite the Hudson factor that may weigh into it, if it wasn't for the Hudsons, he probably wouldn't even be considered top 20. You know, no
true.
matter
That is true.
how good he looks offensively. But do you think if you, I don't know how much of the rest of the draft class you've seen so far, but does he, if you were to, a betting man at this point, um, in the top 10 or 11 to 20?
Uh, I would have him in 11 to 20 right now. I have him outside the top 10.
Okay.
In the discussions I've had with my counterparts over at Draft Hockey Prospects, we go over making our top 10 lists, and I find myself trying to argue to get him in there, but just not having quite enough because this draft class at the top end has a lot of really good names.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Sorry,
And
Ottawa.
and there's some good there are some good defensemen too, right?
There is, yeah. There's what, one center, I think, in the top 10. The rest are all wingers and defense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's fair. And I think I bet you there's some NHL teams that probably don't have him in the top 20 at this point, but it's just the reality of not knowing if he'll be able to play a top four role, even strength in the NHL. And, you know, even if he is, like, I think he translates into being a power play specialist,
Yeah.
you know, he's got that ability and that will be attractive, but can you draft a power play specialist who you're going to have to protect with third line minutes, even strength in the top 20? I guess that will be what teams have to figure out, right?
Yeah, a team that really needs some offense, he can provide that. He's good in the transition. He's got a good first pass. If you need some offensive depth and your prospect pool is pretty full in the other areas as well, sure, take a chance in the top 20, between like 15 to 20. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the Habs, let's say the Habs are drafting 27, and you know, there's a Quebec kid that's skilled, available, 27. The Canadians, do you think that they'd take another undersized defenseman, or they already got that?
I think they've already got that. This is a
Yeah.
team that needs a little bit of size, so they're definitely going to go a different way just
Right.
because of that.
Yeah. So Colorado, Washington, Montreal would be teams that would pass on him
I think
unless
so.
unless it's like the second round and you just say, well, look, an asset's an asset, right? Whether we can, he's going to be on our team down the road or not. If you think he's going to be a 100-point scorer the next 2 years in the queue on defense, there'll be a team down the road that probably want that, right? So, it,
Yeah.
like Colorado, they got Girard, they've got Makar, and then they turn around and they draft Gulyayev as well, right? Being 5'10", another skilled defenseman. So quickly here, Blaine, who else in the queue would you think is in the mix to perhaps go top 40 in the draft?
Top 40. Oh, there's a couple of guys that I look at that I think are sitting on that bubble for the first round. Someone like Victoriaville's Igor Shylov. He's on pace for 100 points, and
Mm,
he is a good sized centerman who plays a full 200-foot game. He's really smart. Um, he's he looks a little relaxed in his style and his approach, but he's someone that's you can see in the eyes, he's calculating what he's going to do next. It's like a chess game for him. So instead of being a bull in a china shop, he's picking and choosing his spots. So that's the
mm,
sign of a really good, a translatable center for me to the NHL.
okay, interesting. I looked at just his goals against quickly that he's been on the ice for. I heard the same thing about right away from the puck. He was being calculated, and to me, he just being a lazy prick. You know,
Yeah,
I've seen some pretty like he's not moving his feet at all. You can be calculating all you want if you're not back checking. You know, that's not you. That calculating isn't helping your team, right? Calculating how somebody else is going to get the puck for him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I saw
His
I saw lazy streak, so that to me, I don't know. Just my first impression was he may not be a center, but you have seen him. You've seen him more than I. I haven't watched complete games of him, so this is unfair from my perspective. Not seeing whole games, I just kind of, I got Instat and I cheated. Right, went to the. I like to do that with centers and with defensemen. Look at their goals against and see why, if they were to blame for those goals against. And if you do that and get an opportunity to and see, you know, that he was kind of he was loafing on goals against. Uh,
in some of them, yeah.
we'll have another discussion about that down the road, and maybe maybe I'm onto something, but that's interesting that you mentioned that you think he can be a center and that he plays a 200-foot game. So I'll definitely be taking you got to look at the whole games. You can't just look at the right. He may have been at the end of shifts, most of the time and was out of gas and other
Yeah,
factors like that,
that is
right?
a thing that happens with him, I think. If you're picking in the 35 to 40 range, I don't
Mm,
see why you wouldn't pick someone like this. You think
yeah,
he might be a center, you give him a try. If not, you move it to the wing. And
yeah.
his style of play translates to the pro levels very well.
I think he's a very smart player, right? And he's producing. He's got size.
Mhm.
Hey, that's attractive anywhere after 25 usually, right? So, um, and who else quickly, Blaine in the queue is
Lars Steiner, who plays for Roy Narada, he's a right
yeah,
winger. He's a little bit undersized, um, but I think he's still got a little bit of a growth spurt left to him. He's got a pretty good first step. His speed has improved from last season to this season, so that's a good sign.
okay,
Um, Especially the acceleration part. That he he had always had a pretty good first step. It was just adding speed in the next 2 to 3 steps. Now he's actually doing that, and he's taking 5 to 6 steps to close players instead of coasting
gotcha.
that last step or two. So
Yeah,
that's a good, uh, to say it again, step forward.
right.
Um, he's got a good shot. He's a smart player. And he's got a mature defensive game. So if you're sitting on that bubble on the second round, if he improves his stats a little bit this season by taking more shots because he's more of a pass first player, he might go a little higher.
Okay. And there's one guy that's already been through a draft that you like.
Yeah, there's one overager that's Nico Tornis with Moncton. He's an
Hmm.
overager. I think he's 19 now. 6'2". He's on pace for 50 goals. Really, really good shot. He's got decent speed, good creativity. Um, for teams that want a more projectable player that have more road behind them, so they can project them a little bit easier, this is the kind of guy I think mid to late second round, a team will take that more than likely take a chance on.
Maybe teams that don't have a lot of good young prospects and maybe haven't made a lot of high picks in recent years that
Yeah.
could use a kid that's going to be ready sooner than a 17-year-old that's 5 years away. It might be
Mhm.
attractive to a team like that, right? Um, that's interesting. Okay, Blaine. Well, look, you, we've taken enough of your time here. I appreciate it. Blaine is host of Habs Unfiltered podcast, which is a great show. And please tune in to see his. Don't just watch me. I'll give you guys permission to check out Blaine's podcast. It's great. So thanks, Blaine, and let you get back to work. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about the U17s and the some of the prospects that are eligible for this year's draft. Appreciate it
Well,
always. Maybe we'll get you on for after for a post game again. Habs post game soon.
yeah, when I'm not running around from one rink to the next, absolutely.
Yeah.
More than happy to do it.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Blaine.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care. That was Blain Potvin, folks, and we really appreciate him coming on and giving us this insight into what's been going on at the U17s. I haven't had time to look at it yet. I don't typically uh, put too much effort into the U17s because just always, in the past, I've always been so busy with just draft eligible prospects alone. But Joseph has been highly touted for years, and I'm glad to see that he's impressing and living up to the billing so far, and hopefully he's good in the medal round here and maybe leads his Canadian team to victory. All right, that's it for this show. We'll likely we'll be doing something, maybe live lunch tomorrow, set things up for the next game against Jersey. That's a big one. So till next time, thank you for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.